Nextdoor is a social network that connects neighbors, neighborhoods, and government. St. Louis is celebrating 4 years of existence on the Nextdoor platform, and joining us today is Board of Alderman President Louis Reed and member of Nextdoor, Jessica Bueler. Welcome, Jessica and President Reed. So glad you guys could both be here today. And you know, Nextdoor, it is booming. I know everyone I know is on it, I think.
Yes, yes.
Like everyone's talking about it, and I personally, I think I joined about a year and a half ago when I was moving to a new neighborhood, and someone said it's a great way to connect with your neighbors and see what's going on. So, President Reed, you brought this to St. Louis 4 years ago.
Yes, and I am just so excited about the growth of Nextdoor and to see, you know, all the different ways people have now come together as neighbors to address issues of public safety, to buy, sell, and trade things, to share ideas, right? And then also to just get acquainted as neighbors. You know, in the fast-moving world we're in today, you rarely get an opportunity to spend quality time with your neighbors, right?
Yeah.
When you're on the other platforms, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, any of those other platforms, you're talking to people all over the world, right? Yeah. And Nextdoor is unique because you're speaking directly to your neighbors.
That's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that because Facebook, your Facebook friend group can be literally across the world. And so if you want to speak just to a select group, you lost your dog or whatever.
Yes.
You want to know about that new store that opened, a new restaurant, want to know what the best walking route is. Nextdoor is the place to go because you're drilling down.
Yes, and then, you know, you can't discount, you know, the value in coming together and building coalitions to address whatever issue it may be, right? The reason I originally brought Nextdoor to St. Louis is because I thought we needed to tap into, you know, you know, all of the ideas and opinions that people have within their neighborhoods and communities, and have a way for them to organize, to be able to work together to address whatever issues, or also voice their opinions on things that are happening in City Hall or just in their neighborhood and community.
So did you first hear about Nextdoor from another city?
No, I first heard about Nextdoor from a friend of mine in Lafayette Square, Michael Petit, who I worked together with to build a public safety plan years ago when I was alderman of 6th Ward. Michael called me up at 11 o'clock at night, and he's like, hey, come over, I want to show you something. And Nextdoor had just launched this, you know, beta platform, and Michael Petit somehow found it. But then a year or two later, it had, you know, progressed into a full-fledged platform that then was ready for, you know, the main stage.
So now, as it's spread from St. Louis City and out to the county, is it primarily word of mouth among friends and neighbors that you're seeing? And Jessica, chime in here. I know you're a user as a neighbor.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I noticed that my neighbors started using Nextdoor, and they had told me that with the Syrian refugee event that we were working on, that we might want to post that on Nextdoor. And so we gave it a try, and we could not believe the amount of community support, because it's not just with Facebook. You have all kinds of different people all over the world, but these are all the people on my block. These are all the people on the surrounding streets. And so when we have concerns or have ideas, we can connect with our neighbors to share those together, and some really amazing results come out of that.
So word of mouth, you heard from your neighbors. I know when I first heard about it, it was with my running group. We were out running, and I said, I've got to sell this couch or something, and they said, Nextdoor, don't do it on Facebook, do it on Nextdoor. It's like somebody next door literally may want it.
Yeah.
So it's word of mouth, and it's interesting. Now, President Reed, there's lots of good stuff that's come out of being connected with your neighbors, being in touch with just the little ins and outs of what's going on in the neighborhood. Have there been any negative repercussions that you've seen?
You know, the things that some people may point to and say are negative, I actually look at a lot of those things as positive, right? I don't think it's a requirement that everyone always agree, right? And everyone has the same opinion on whatever issue that we're looking at. As a matter of fact, I think it's best when those diverse opinions are made known, so that whatever you're working on, you end up with a better product, right? And, some people will look at Nextdoor and say, well, you get on there and people are disagreeing about various different things. But, that's what makes the world go round.
At least they're talking.
At least they're talking.
And I
they're
do see
working
some of
towards
that, but then I
solutions.
see a lot of respect. Like,
Yes.
let Mrs. Smith voice her opinion. It's okay. We can all agree to disagree. So
Absolutely.
we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dive into your story, Jessica. You have a really interesting Nextdoor thing that happened with you. So stay with us at STL Live. We'll have more on Nextdoor STL after this break.